Good afternoon, and thank you for your interest to research-based service design. My name is Yuri Metz, and I'm host of this event. I'm a researcher in digital transformation and lifelong learning research team. And let me please introduce the participants of our panel discussion for today. Next to me is Merja Bauters, the research professor of digital transformation and lifelong learning at Tallinn University. And then Ingrid Hindrikson, expert on business relations at Tallinn University, and Kersti Peenema, founder of Helge app. Should we start? Kersti, maybe you tell us about your experience, how it began, how it starts, actually.
Well, hi. For me, it started a bit more than a year ago when I decided to quit my job. And I wanted to know whether there is life out there, whether there is still something I haven't discovered. And so at one point, I ended up in the SEB Pank Innovatsioonikeskus, where two guys very passionately talked about the algorithm they have developed for telcos and how this helps telcos to prevent the clients leaving them before even clients themselves know or have suspect something like that. And a few days ago, I actually read a story about a young child killing himself, and at that moment, the idea was actually born, because I thought that why can't we just put those two things together and to do something good for our children. But the idea itself is actually worth quite a little if you do not do anything about it. So actually, at that moment, nothing happened. And I just was discovering the life around me, and I scrolled down all the different courses from Tallinn University, and I found that there is a social entrepreneurship courses. Well, why not take them? And so I actually went to social entrepreneurship courses, and in one of them, they actually sent us to starter program. So we had to develop there our business idea. I had this idea of Helge. In my mind, I did put it down. Suddenly, I had a team, and we ended up in the finals. And so if you develop something or you work with an idea already for so long time, or such a time you start to think that, well, perhaps I shouldn't and I can't just drop it. And then I thought, okay, I don't have any money to develop it further, to be honest. What to do next? And I saw that Tallinn University has those life courses, elukursus, ads on the walls. And they ask for students and professors to come with their own idea and to develop it with a bunch of students. And I thought, why not to try? Turns out that we were successful as well. They gave us approval, and we went further. But for this, I actually needed a supervisor from Tallinn University. So quite literally, in the last minute, I wrote to Mart Lampere, who is my former supervisor, and we do get along very well till now, and asked Mart for help that maybe he knows someone who actually can help us out. And actually, Mart gave me an email address. By the way, you don't know that. And because I did write back to Mart asking whether it's a correct email address, and he didn't reply. So I took my chances that I will perhaps send an email to a wrong person, but he gave me an email of Merja. So this is actually how it started.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Kersti.
What email did he give?
Lina.
Lina, okay, yeah, my pseudonym.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe Merja, you now tell us how it looks from TeleU perspective. How was it from the university?
I will continue from the story because it's actually pretty good. So I was officially hired in the end of February, and the course started before that. And I know Mart from previous EU projects and other projects and respect him a lot. So he was grasping me that, come on, you need to go to this course. And I was like, what course? I'm not even there yet. And he said, well, it's this kind of company course where you do products. And I know her. And I was like, company course, do we develop something together? And he said, yes. Well, I was like, okay, yeah, I will go, because in previous work in Finland, I have 20 years done that kind of courses, and they are really cool. There's a lot to offer for the university as there for companies. So the students get to know what companies do, their practices, tools, and all these kind of things. And the companies get to try out their ideas, and if it really matches as well as this one happened to be, then there's actual outcome that is tangible, and the students also get to know that they are making a difference, because what they do, it will come to a use. And of course, Helge is a really good example of that, because the topic is touching, so the students really get in. So that's sort of the perspective from the university side.
Okay, thank you. And talking about outcomes, Kersti, maybe you tell us something about this nice dress you have.
Well, maybe I take a little bit more time, and I will talk a bit more about the outcomes. But what we actually did, we had almost 20 students in our first life course. Right now we have 18, so actually right now the second life course is going on. But we had almost 20 students, and we actually validated the problem very well. We did a lot of interviews. We have more than 80 interviews done. So actually we do get the pain and the problem of school psychologists, of children, of parents. So this is one thing what I think is a good outcome. The other is that we actually, and this is not less important, somehow we actually gave to students the sense of achievement. And this was actually incredible, because they did things they never thought they can do, because they all did prototyping in Figma, using Figma app, for example. So they all played with it. They all created some sort of or some version of this app, actually. And it ended up so well that, yes, in the end of this course, we had this final party at our place, and they gave me a present. And yes, they really gave me this dress as a present. And what they do not know, that they asked me to try it on, whether it fits or not. And what they do not know, that I actually went to second floor to try it on, and there were tears in my eyes, because can you really imagine that students do something like this? Well, I didn't. But yes, well, the personal outcome for me, I have a dress now.
Okay.
Nice dress, yes.
Thank you so much. So, Merja, maybe you can tell us also about different projects which you...
Yeah, I also go a little bit roundabout, because I will continue what Kersti said about this not tangible parts of the thing. And I think with ELU projects, or in general, any kind of project where the companies are very tightly involved in the whole process, what the students get is not only that they can do things, like in this case, really, they weren't design students, so they didn't know, but they get a feeling of inclusion. So they are part of something else than just a course for learning something, and most of the time even getting numbers is like the whole aim, but here it's very much different. The other kind of projects from this that go on, then of course is a master's and bachelor's, which most people know. Often the problems are wicked, so basically something that the company thinks is a problem, they come with it, and when it started to be researched, we find out that it's not the real problem. You have to dig further, and that's also why the name research-based service design, because in service design the same things often happen. That there in the customer, they come and say, okay, this is the problem, and then when you do all the work, you find out that they didn't know what their problem is, but it's this, and it's huge. So with this level, often happens that the students, they find out what is behind there, and then it's really fruitful for both of them, because the students learn something about the company deeper than they thought, and the company gets an additional bonus, not only solve problem, but something else that is deeper in them. But I think that Ingrid has even more examples, practical examples of those.
About deep research, yes. Ingrid,
Yes. I like to start so that I think that product or service development, science-based product or service development is not only fun. Mainly it's hard, deep and depth work with companies. But we are very happy in Tallinn University and with your institution that we have done as a success stories several of different kind projects which focus very concretely for new product or new services. I'm representing here XU platform. It's a platform for business and academics. It's as a gateway for 400 scientists at our university. And our slogan is very nice, making better humans. We try to find linkage social sciences and humanities with technology and innovation. It's our, main aim. And we have done several of, I can say, good work for it. If we talk about our clients or strategic partners, this portfolio is very large. Our clients are very different. We can talk about startups, SMEs, bigger companies, and also famous innovators who have found a way to our university, to our research groups. So we are lucky. Maybe it's very interesting to know what we really have done concerning product or service development. I will introduce generally the samples, good and successful collaboration, but I have to say that I can't open all cards
Sure.
because these are real products and services for market, and this information is very sensitive for companies. And between our clients and university, we have a confidential contract, so I have to keep, I have to respect this. For example, our interaction design experts and UX lab scientists and research group, we did good work for our one of huge bank in Estonia. And they created and developed a mobile application for private customer. And I think that partly this work is now in the market, and we are very happy about it. If we talk about this research group, I mean here UX as a keywords and interaction design, we did pre-work for real electronic device from a field of health technology. We did feasibility study, and now we are looking for second phase of this process. What we did? We did with the company Taviter, the first steps for real concrete health tech equipment. We found out concrete customer segments. We found out market expectations. We tried to give overview about different kind of juridical aspects for this health tech equipment and device. It's very detailed and very important before real prototyping. And of course, we tried to find overview about IP processes. So maybe next project and company which I like to introduce is Autosõit, company Autosõit. Some years ago, we did very concrete work. We tried to digitalize all learning materials for driving license applicators. So we tried to link theory with practice, and the new material about this learning and this type of education was innovative and worked very well. It was also a nice example for success story, success collaboration. We have just now one very concrete project with company NetGroup, famous and well-known good company. Our aim is to integrate different kind of educational systems and platforms, because we know in crisis times we saw how chaotic the systems are, how daft is to use this for teachers, for pupils, for parents, and so on. The different kind of systems needs real integration, plus analytics. We try to do both. Let's see. We have some of months more. Let's hope that the results will be good. One of very nice and interesting project is with company Elektrimasinad. We're using here philosophy Industry 4.0. I like to focus this project because I like to show that Tallinn University is not only for soft developments. We are dealing with very concrete software and hardware projects. What we do with this company, it's already second project for us. It means that client trusts us. It means that we did already good work with company. We developed an online platform for predictive diagnostics of industrial company equipments. Predictive diagnostics, it's very important to know. And this second project started 2 weeks ago, so it's too early to say anything. But we know all that such kind of works are very needful in the market, especially industrial companies and also all companies who connected to the supply chain. So these were only some of our examples about our very, very real, concrete service design or product design, what we have done.
So, well, at least in some parts of this cooperation should be fun, right? If partners came back and want to do more.
We feel happiness after work. If project is successful and resultable, we are happy. We are all happy. But it means hard work. Yes. Yes, process as such, of course, it's fun if we understand each other, client and our research group. If we really understand each other, if we really understand the needs of company and so on, it's fun, but it's hard work.
Okay, thank you. So, Mary, maybe you could add something about deep research from the perspective of deep research.
Yeah, actually, I will just take some of what Ingrid said, because Ingrid went really nicely through most of the aspects that are when you want to do basic research. And that's often the hardest to people to match with companies or industry, basic research, which usually is not applicable. You cannot adapt it. It's just more knowledge on something that maybe is used on, I don't know, 50 years from now, something like that. But there are these projects where it happens to sort of go together. And it usually starts with a research hypothesis. Some research groups, they want to go deep into something. And as it has come up with this discussion, it's personal relations. So when this research group finds out that, okay, there's usually somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who is in the industry who has said that they would actually need to know something of this, but they cannot put this effort because it's a lot of money to invest in basic research. So they come together. And this is the first step. And that's exactly what you said. There needs to be this mutual wish when you go to the hard part of research and development. And these projects are usually such that nobody has the funding, not the university to do that, neither the research, so they need to put everything together and get the funding. And of course, Horizon and EU and national funds, depending on the country, are those that help in this situation. But the process starts with this, because then you need to do together the funding application, and already there, some of the hard issues that may cause the conflict, they usually come up. So basically then the company or industry or whoever is the other part and the researchers, they form the research questions together. And they are both aware that the result might be something that it's nothing. It doesn't really bring what the company expects or the researchers expect. And in a sense, for researchers, that's of course a result. Well, it didn't work, but for the company it might not be. But from there comes another issue that you mentioned with IPR and data protection, data storage, data tracking, which now is really hard. And currently we are struggling with one consortium that is international, and it has many companies, and it has many universities, and the universities are in different countries. Luckily, Estonia and Finland, but still there's a lot of sensitive data, and we don't have a shared storage where we could put the company data, the research data that is has enough power to process it all, to store it all, and especially track who is using it. Because now with the new GDPR, it means that this kind of data, if somebody says that they want out, it needs that everybody who has been using that part of data needs to be tracked and taken out. So there's these kind of really practical things that come up, even though everything else would be very nice and going together. But when these things are then solved, the joy, the fun is there, because doing something like that together, that's the thing that brings the fun, because you start to feel that it's not the company and researchers, but you are one big group doing things. And for us, well, that's the big fish that we want usually to catch, because they are also long, like from 4 to 6 years even. So there's time then to think, which is one part. We mentioned that some of the time scales often don't match, but in these kind of things we finally can get them match. And the other thing that Ingrid brought up is the context. So Kersti brought the context of doing research, and with all the project that Ingrid was mentioned, we also had the different kind of context to get the data, to contextualize the results and adapt them. And with this bigger project, the outcome for the company usually means that the first project, 4 years, 6 years, it gives some kind of outcome, but never something that they can use directly. So as you said, there's a second phase. They come back and they try to adapt it. So we get to the second one that might be more practical. And after that, they usually get their own funding and make the breakthrough. Because with these kind of things, as Ingrid mentioned, this is a big thing. It often is something that worldwide noticed afterwards. But if we count like 4 years, let's say 5 years, that's already 10 years, and then they develop it 15 years.
Yes, and it's good that you mentioned that about this public funding and different kind of financial support measures. All my samples, project samples, they have used Enterprise Estonian innovation or development voucher. And it's really simple to fulfill this application and to invest this money for company real developments, service or product developments. It's possible, and of course we try to support all kind of work with this bureaucracy and so on. So you are welcome to visit university. You are welcome to trust university and to make a real innovation for the market.
Okay, so maybe we summarize it by some phrases. Maybe we start with Kersti again. So, couple of words. What is for you cooperation between industry and academic? Actually, what can you say to other entrepreneurs? Or?
Well, my husband asked me today whether we should do a third ELU project as well, life project. And at first I answered that, well, perhaps not. But I did answer this about the second project as well. And then I thought a little bit, well, but why not? Because I already have an idea for a third life project. But I think that sometimes maybe companies are afraid of universities because they use did you notice what kind of language Merja used? It was data and research question and
legal stuff.
Yes, and everything. Well, you get goosebumps and you think that I don't know, maybe it's not for me, but what I want to say is that don't be afraid of that. Because the cooperation might be actually quite interesting if you come with an open mind and are ready to put some work into it. Then it's actually quite enjoyable project, because neither of us, nor I, nor Merja, nor students, neither of us actually knows where do we end up. So it's an interesting project. And it's interesting to see where we do end up. So I definitely encourage.
Okay, thank you. Ingrid, maybe you also summarize the main idea.
Yes, if we talk about collaboration between university and between companies or between different kind of organization or companies, I have to say that it's mainly social, here is very important social aspect between people, not between organization. And how we and maybe this human being aspect is most important if we talk about collaboration. It's a basis. Mm-hmm. We have to know and remain it all time. Human aspect is very important.
Oh, okay, thank you. Merja.
Ingrid stole my words. So, network. But it's not only network for companies and researchers, but it's also network for the students and a possibility for them to get the work, get a life, and then maybe come back as Kersti did. So that often also happens. You start with ELU or PhD or research project, and you go then to company, and then you come back in the company and say, hi, we need your help again.
Okay, thank you. So thank you very much, and thank you very much for being with us.